Hello everyone, welcome to Teamfight Tactics Set 9, Runeterra Reforged. Today, we'll be talking about Set 9's new traits. We got plenty to cover, so let's get right into it. Let's kick things off with Bastion. One of the three main frontline traits, Bastion has breakpoints at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Bastion units gain additional armor and magic resist, which are increased by 100% for the first 10 seconds of combat. The Bastion units are Maokai, Poppy, Kastan, Taric, Shen, and Cassante. Next up is the Bruiser trait. Not to be confused with last set's Brawler trait, but definitely confusable with previous Bruiser traits seen in sets 6, 6.5, and 7. All of your units will gain flat HP, with Bruisers gaining additional percent HP as well. With breakpoints at 2, 4, and 6, watch as your Bruisers become chonkier and chonkier. The Bruiser units are Cho'Gath, Renekton, Vi, Rek'Sai, Sejuani, and Sion. Next up, Challengers makes its return to the TFT Battlegrounds. Last seen in sets 6 and 6.5, Challengers gain bonus attack speed, dashing toward enemies after a takedown and gaining extra attack speed. Breakpoints are at 2, 4, and 6, but there are only 6 natural Challenger units: Irelia, Samira, Warwick, Kalista, Kai'Sa, and Yasuo, meaning you'll need a Challenger emblem, which you can craft with a recurve bow and a golden spatula. Next up, we have the first attack damage carry trait, Deadeye. Innately, all Deadeye units gain +1 attack range, similar to Set 8's Recon trait or Set 6 and 6.5's Sniper trait. Every 3 seconds, Deadeye units will lock onto the enemy with the highest health, dealing bonus damage depending on the trait breakpoint. The breakpoints currently sit at 2, 4, and 6, with only 5 natural Deadeye units: Jhin, Ashe, Akshan, Aphelios, and Urgot. Next up is the other attack damage carry trait, Gunner. Gunners gain bonus attack damage whenever they attack an enemy, stacking up to 8 times. A similar idea to Set 8 and 8.5's Duelist trait, where units gain stacking attack speed. At 2, 4, and 6 active Gunners, each will gain extra percent attack damage per stack. Tristana, Jinx, Jace, Zeri, and Senna make up the natural Gunner roster. I'm sure Aphelios wouldn't mind a Gunner emblem. A 2 and 4 breakpoint trait, multicaster units do exactly what the name implies. They cast multiple times. At 2 multicaster, each unit will cast their skill 1 extra time. At 4, each unit will cast their skill 2 extra times. Units are Talia, Teemo, Sona, and Vel'Koz. Invoker makes its return as well. Last seen in Set 5 and 5.5, Invoker works a little differently this time around. Rather than giving extra mana per auto attack, Invokers instead give a flat amount of mana every 3 seconds to all units on your board. At 2 Invokers, every unit on your board will gain 5 mana every 3 seconds. At 4 Invokers, all Invoker units will also gain an additional 15 mana every 3 seconds. Then finally, at 6 Invoker, all units will gain 20 mana, with Invokers gaining an additional 15 mana. There are 7 whole Invoker units, so plenty to choose from for your final 6 Invoker board. Cassiopeia, Galio, Soraka, Karma, Lissandra, Shen, and Ryze are all the natural Invokers. There's also an uncraftable Invoker emblem you can find with the Tome of Traits. Now for the backline dive trait, we have the Assassin trait at home. Rogue units will start combat from their starting hex, but after being brought to 50% HP or lower, they'll jump to the furthest unit within 4 hexes, prioritizing back row. This happens at 2 and 4 Rogue, but at 4, Rogue's first attack on enemies also causes them to bleed for a percent of their max HP as damage over time. There are 4 natural Rogues, though an uncraftable emblem for the trait also exists. Diego, Zed, Echo, and Katarina can be the menace to the enemy backline, or if the opponent clumps their entire team together, well, they really are just Assassin trait at home at the end of the day. The third frontline focus trait is Juggernaut. Juggernaut units take less and less damage as they lose more and more HP. With breakpoints at 2, 4, and 6, you can hit the 6 Juggernaut damage reduction without the need for an emblem. Set, Warwick, Darius, Garen, Nasus, and Aatrox are the beefy boys with the trait. New set, new ability power champions, new sorcerer trait. Last seen in sets 3.5, 3, and 1, the sorcerer trait has made its way back to the TFT battlefield, though they do something a bit different than before. Rather than gaining stacking ability power or extra mana, sorcerers this set are all in on killing enemy units and snowballing fights. When enemies die in combat after being damaged by sorcerers, they deal a percentage of their maximum HP to another enemy unit. With breakpoints at 2, 4, 6, and 8, you'll need a craftable sorcerer emblem to deal nutty damage to enemies. Want to take a guess what the recipe for a sorcerer emblem is? Yep, a Tear of the Goddess and a golden spatula. At 2 and 4 Sorcerer, 1 enemy will be affected, while at 6 and 8 Sorcerer, 2 units will be impacted instead. The 7 natural units are Malzahar, Orianna, Swain, Taric, Vel'Koz, Lux, and Ahri. Next up is the Demon Slayer core. The Slayer trait. Slayers gain Omnivamp and deal increased damage to enemies, doubled against units under a certain % HP threshold. With breakpoints at 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, you'll need a craftable Slayer emblem to do maximum extra damage. Emblem is craftable with the Sparring Glove and Golden Spatula. The natural Slayer units are Kayle, Kled, Zed, Gwen, and Aatrox. Finally, we come to Strategists. Strategists give a shield to units in the front 2 rows, or extra ability power to units in the back 2 rows at the start of every fight. With breakpoints at 2, 3, 4, and 5, there are only 4 natural strategists, meaning you'll need to find an uncraftable strategist emblem to get the bigliest shield and extra AP. The strategist units are Swain, Teemo, Azir, and Jarvan IV. These here be all the new traits of Set 9. Well, almost all. Before you start typing that I missed half the traits, hear me out for a second. As noted in my previous video, this is the final intro to Set 9 video. The next series will be the TFT Set 9 Spotlights, where I cover all the origin traits one by one. Make sure to smack that subscribe button and click the notification bell to know when they go live. I'll be releasing these videos twice a day starting today, so go check out my channel to see if they're already live. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.